Hello and welcome to our list of top 10 heroes. We're going to be doing heroes and villains, so this is the first one we're doing, top 10 heroes. So we'll start off with our honourable mentions. Would you like to do yours first over there?
I would. Thank you, Daniel.
Go for it.
So my honourable mentions, number one is Flash, but on the TV series.
Okay, that
The
makes
TV
sense.
specific Flash.
Yeah.
I know, I was waiting for your reaction to
Just-
that one. Yeah, no, I really liked it. We'll sort of get into why I liked him a bit later. But yeah, so
Okay.
Flash for me, the TV series, I think he is my favourite Flash.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, he's
like
very
him.
good, yeah.
And I quite enjoyed those series. I quite enjoyed that little sort of thing going for a while, whatever it was with DC.
Yes.
So secondly, which isn't really something that's on film or TV, I just really like him, is Nightwing.
I swear,
Batman.
was he not in Titans?
Could have been, never watched it. I just always thought he's really cool. He's
Yeah.
just like a sort of like a variant of a Robin.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I like this little sort of patterns, and I really liked him in the game. And
Yes.
yeah, he's just like a cool man.
He's so
got
cool.
nothing more to add to that. Whenever I've got a chance to play as Nightwing, I always play as Nightwing. I just really like him.
Makes sense, yeah. Well.
So third up is, I wasn't sure whether to include these in the actual list or not, so I've included them all here. It is the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So I've just chucked them all in here because I wasn't sure
Right.
what to do, because I think technically they are superheroes. I think they have been.
I mean,
included in
realistically,
Marvel stuff.
They've been in Batman. I know it's been
Spider-Man or
DC. I know
Batman?
there's been DC
Oh,
crossover.
okay.
The thing is, like, we're not. I don't think it needs to be specifically superheroes. I think this list
Yeah.
covers all types of heroes. So I'm very happy with having them here. So
Yeah, no, that's fair. So yeah, I've just included them as an honorable mention because I wasn't 100%. But
Mhm.
yes, I mean, it's the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
yeah, I
Don't
agree.
need to say more.
Mhm.
And to be fair, that film last year was
Yeah, fire.
banging. Next up is a guy I feel kind of sorry for because I really like him, but his films stink,
Oh.
and that is Ant-Man.
Oh. The first
I
one's
love
good.
Ant-Man. I think Paul Rudd as Ant-Man is incredible. I love him as just in general
Mhm.
as Ant-Man.
Yeah.
But yeah, his films are a little stinkums in there, unfortunately.
no,
Like
no,
it's a shame because yeah, I think whenever he's sort of with the Avengers and stuff, he's great.
Yeah, I
but
agree.
yeah, his solo stuff isn't great.
I agree.
And then last up is probably one of the newer members is Adam Warlock.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, I think when watching Guardians 3,
Mhm.
like he's had like a long build, to be fair.
I think it was
pretty much
Guardians
all-
2 at the end, wasn't it?
I think he might have been the end of 1 as well. I think they've kept like teasing him. He's definitely turned up at least twice where they've had
Right.
like a golden box of
Yeah.
sorts. And this is the first time we actually met him, and I think he was probably one of the best parts of the film.
It was a highlight for sure,
To
but
me-
I think it was a very different type of highlight for me. Like, where I thought he was going to be all cool and badass, he was actually stupid and hilarious, which was really, really good. I liked it.
I kind of love that. I kind of love the fact that he is stupid, but also ridiculously powerful.
Oh yeah, no, he's crazy.
So, and I think he played it really well, and I think it kind of made sense, the fact that he is a literal baby, basically.
Yeah.
Like the fact that they just like birthed this golden thing
Mhm.
that's got like incredible powers, but is basically a child. I think he played it perfectly. So yeah, I think Adam Warlock is another honorable mention, and that is all of mine. Dan,
Very nice.
would you like to go up?
Yes. So the mine are like a bit weird because I probably consider these
Okay.
like, you'll be like, oh my god, you love these characters. But then if I look at my list of top 10, I just prefer these ones. So like my list is pretty strong. So first honorable mention goes, and it's going to be controversial straight away because it's more of an anti-hero than a hero. It's Blade.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
I love Blade, obviously. Yeah, Deadpool and Wolverine, it's been out long enough now where I can say, I don't need to say spoilers. Like, that was so sick to see him come back. Awesome. Second honorable mention for me is probably any variation of the Hulk.
Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
big fan of the Hulk. Just didn't crack my top 10, but obviously whenever we get a solo film again of the Hulk, it's going to be a great day. So I'm very excited to see where they go in the future with him in the MCU. But
Do you have a favorite Hulk?
Mark Ruffalo is probably number one, but I really
No,
like
no,
Ed
do
Norton.
you have one?
I really like Ed Norton's Hulk. It's a lot of fun. Third honourable for me is the Human Torch, which is another one. I love him so
bloody
much.
hell, yeah.
But I
Yeah.
just feel like we haven't had enough obviously, because it's kind of been a mess. I'm looking forward to the next one, but this, I have a feeling it's going to be my least favorite version of that character, but we'll see.
Really?
Yeah, I'm just not massive on the actor, unfortunately, but we'll see. We'll see.
Okay,
We'll see how it
interesting.
goes. Fourth honorable mention is Quicksilver.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
oh, God, I'm surprised that one.
this is what I mean, yeah. I think
Yeah.
he stole the New Age X-Men franchise. Like, every scene he was in was incredible, always great. And I think now, I think we spoke about this last time, you can kind of see why I was so hyped and then disappointed with WandaVision, because it just felt like
I can.
they put him in and then they made him a joke, and it very, very much annoyed me. But yeah, a great
that's
character.
fair.
And then last honorable mention is Green Lantern. Ryan Reynolds.
Yes!
Again, I know everyone hates that film, but I think it's a lot of fun, and I think
it is.
I think the character, like across the board, is a very cool character, and I'd like to see if they do anything again with him. Not Ryan Reynolds, obviously, but I want to see where they go with Green Lantern, because it's such a cool idea. I think.
Yeah, I think they were film planned, don't they? I think it's a Lanterns or something like that. It's called.
Is it the Green Lantern Corps, something like that?
Oh, Corps. Yeah. There's definitely a plan,
Yeah.
which I'd be very fascinated to see.
Yeah, I'll be very excited to see what they do with it, and that is my honourable mention. So, shall we jump into the list?
Yes, we shall.
Fantastic.
Who would go first, Dan?
Well, I just finished my honourable mention, so I'll go first. So I'm going to
on.
switch over to the next scene, and then we will start at number 10. Let's do this.
So my number 10 is Spider-Man.
Ooh, 10. Wow.
Yeah, he is 10. I think every iteration of Spider-Man is great.
Yeah.
I personally, it's close. I think it is close between Tobey Maguire and Tom Holland. Well, they're all a great name. I think personally, I would probably edge towards Tom Holland's
In fact,
Spider-Man.
you haven't even mentioned Andrew Garfield as like making
No.
me upset.
No. I said they all are. 'Cause the more I thought about it, the more I thought like Garfield is great as well.
Oh,
Obviously, when
so
you
good.
watch the film, unfortunately, Andrew Garfield has rubbish films, really.
Yeah, I agree.
But when you see them all together, he's definitely the more. He's the one who's lost something, hasn't he? He's lost his meaning.
it almost
He's the
felt
sort of.
it almost felt more impactful seeing Andrew Garfield. Like, it was weird. It was such a weird. scene.
Yeah. It was. He definitely stole that film, really, didn't he? Like him coming back, I think, really
what a moment,
reignited that thing for him, didn't they? And people want to see his Spider-Man again. I think whereas before it was like everyone wanted Maguire back, as soon as seeing Andrew Garfield, they want him back.
Yeah, I agree.
But I think Tom Holland has had the best films for me.
Yeah, I get it.
Overall,
I do get it. Yeah.
You know, and I think and obviously because he's had all the interactions, because he's done all the stuff with the Avengers and stuff. Like for me, and I think because he is a little child, or looks like a little child. He's not. He's like 27, isn't he? But he looks like how Spider-Man's supposed to look and things like that. I think for me, is probably my favorite. But yeah, I think Spider-Man's just great overall, isn't he? Great games, great films.
Yeah, I think that's a solid one.
Yeah, just a consistent man. So yeah, he is my number 10.
Consistent Spider-Man. Okay, number 10 for me is Raphael from the Ninja Turtles. I went one specifically. I think Raphael's my absolute favorite. And again, I think he kind of tiptoes on anti-hero. My favorite version of Raphael is from the 2007 animated film, just because I love the way they've done that character and the performance by Nolan North, which I think is super sick. I kind of love that. Have you seen that film, sorry?
No.
He's got that alter ego where he goes out and he's like a crime fighter in the night in like a full suit of armor. It's so sick. But I think I love his kind of team aspect with the guys where he's almost a leader, but he's always going to be underneath Leonardo, and he kind of struggles with that. But I think deep down, I think he has one of the best hearts of the group, and I just think he's class.
Which one is he? What weapons?
So he's red, and he's got the two.
Oh,
Yeah.
I know. Yeah, I love them all. I can never remember which one's which. I love the one with the stick.
Donatello.
There we go. That's my man.
He's probably my least favorite, but yeah, Raphael for me goes in at number 10. I think he's class. So we'll go into number 9.
9. Number 9 is he was a very late addition, actually, because I was a bit like, I didn't know whether to include him. So my number 9 is Wolverine.
Oh, no way!
Yeah. I wasn't going to include him, I'll be honest.
That's crazy.
No, I know. I'm just like, I think I've had too much Wolverine. overall, personally.
Yeah, I get it.
But obviously, like, and obviously coming away from it, from Logan, as I said before, I was very like,
yeah.
good, wasn't great, didn't really care. And then I watched Deadpool Wolverine and I was like, oh,
this guy's the GOAT.
Yeah, no, he is great. And obviously, like, you know, it's all about Hugh Jackman, isn't it? And I think it's just one of those things where he is great, and it's a really obvious shout to say one of the best superheroes within film and TV is Wolverine, because obviously it is. So I try not to go like too obvious. So that's sort of like my number 9 and 10 are more like of the obvious ones. But yeah, after seeing Deadpool Wolverine, I couldn't not include him.
No way.
He's great. Obviously, Hugh Jackman is Wolverine. I think this was like the perfect film for him, and I'm very excited to see him going forward within the MCU, which I think was probably something that personally I was missing. Maybe, you know, something that I was a bit like, didn't really, as much as I love all the X-Men films and stuff, wasn't something that I didn't have that connection with. And as soon as I've seen him in Marvel, now I'm like, oh
I get it. Yeah,
do you know what I mean? Yeah, now I've seen that film, I'm like, yeah, I'm very excited to see you interact with everybody else now. So yes, number 9 is Wolverine.
Okay.
Who is your number 9?
Which is quite funny, because my number 9 is a very big one as well, and I think it's a very similar situation where I went, oh shit, he's a thing. It's number 9 is Batman. Yeah, wow. I know. I've never been.
Wow.
I've never been the be all end all Batman fan. Like, people love Batman, and I really, really love Batman, but not like in a sense where I'm like, oh my god, Batman's in this. I've got to see it. I've got to play it. I've got to do whatever. But I think the Batman film. So I'm judging this basically off the films alone. And I think the Batman films have always been really solid. I don't think there's any that are like outrightly horrible. I think it gets the closest for me. It gets is Batman Forever. I think that is the closest it gets to be a bad film.
Yeah,
but
it's great.
And I mean, it's still entertaining. It's never been the point where I'm like, oh, I hate this film. I know you're not a fan of the Batman, which makes me very sad. But I actually think the Batman cemented me as like, oh my god, I want to see more of this. I want more of this side. I want more of the detective side of Batman, rather than kind of the crime fighting side. I almost prefer the slower approach. So I think this probably helped put Batman at number 9 for me. Otherwise, he probably would have been 10.
Wow.
I know, it's crazy, but
especially because you love Ben so much.
I do. And that's another one. I think his take on the character was so, again, they're always different, and his version was more of the brute and kind of just a bit nuts. Like, Batman Superman opens with him basically killing people. Like, it's so weird. But I think there's always been such a variety with Batman. I don't think you couldn't have him on a list like this. It's always refreshing, and I'm looking forward to see what they do next. Either that be the DCU or the continuation of the Batman, or if they chuck him in Joker 2 or something. I'm looking forward to see what they do with Batman. So he is my number 9.
Bad.
Number 8.
Number 8. So, my number 8 is an honorable mention of yours, Dan. Ooh. It's the Hulk.
Okay.
So, yeah, I love Mark Ruffalo's Hulk. For me, he is the Hulk.
Yeah.
I think he is... I can understand the frustration with where he's gone. But then I think for a character to have such development but never have their own film is a real like testament to Mark Ruffalo.
100%, I agree.
And I think the films in general, like the filmmakers, the fact that they've kind of had to give him a story without giving him a film throughout other people's films, whether it's the Avengers or whether it's things like Thor Ragnarok. Like, we've seen him in a lot of different things, and he's progressed so far, but he's never had a standalone thing.
Yeah.
I love the Hulk. I love where he is now. I'm hoping that with Brave New World.
Yes, that's it.
Yes, with the next Captain America, that obviously we're getting Red Hulk.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of hoping that this is like a rejuvenation for him as the Hulk. So I think now he's kind of just become Mark.
Well, they finally
as the Hulk.
I think it was yesterday they said they're fully going into, like, they want to make a Wolverine versus Hulk film. So if that actually comes to fruition, that's going to be insane. So.
Yeah, and I think that's kind of what I want. Is I want to get I think whereas he was just a big angry man, and how he's just a man, like as the Hulk, but he's just a guy now. I think I want to like pull them together now.
Yeah.
But I think we can still have like smart Hulk, but I also want like angry Hulk.
I do.
Back.
Yeah, I miss the big angry Hulk. I'll be honest. I think once you think of the first Avengers film, like scenes in that film where Hulk just goes off, they're highlights. They're so highlights.
So I think if we can get back to big angry scary Hulk when he needs to be big angry scary Hulk, then that would be wonderful. So yes, number 8 is the Hulk.
Lovely. My number 8 is probably much higher in your ranking. I'm going to assume it's the one, the only Iron Man.
Yeah.
Yes, I can only assume he's very high.
I'm quite happy that he's in your list.
Yeah, I mean, I love Iron Man. He kicked off again. I'm basically judging all my characters off the films they're in. I'm not a comic book guy. I'm not really a gaming guy anymore, sad to say, but I'm going Iron Man strictly because he kicked off the whole universe that has meant so much to all of us. Do you know what I mean? I know we can all talk about the dips in quality all we want, but this franchise clearly means a lot to every single one of us, and this was the starting point. And I'll never forget watching this film for the first time and just kind of being blown away by how good it looked specifically. And how good this guy was as this character, I didn't know. And it just kind of birthed something where you just wanted to see more of him. And I think for that alone, it stands the testament of time, and he's so good. And going forward, obviously, Iron Man had the biggest arc ever. Like, ever, let's be honest. You could just remember sitting in that cinema crying over Endgame. Like, I'll never forget it. And I think it just became such an important part of... It's so cringe to say, but of like life. I mean, this character was so important. It is crazy, and I think that's why he comes at number 8. He's not my favorite of the Avengers, but he is such a strong character, such a strong personality that you can't not have him on a list like this. So number 8 is Iron Man.
Good, thank you.
Number 7.
So, my number 7 is going to be an interesting choice. Okay. My number 7 is Green Arrow.
Oh my god! Yeah, no chance.
So, from the DC TV series with Stephen Amell. I think I'm pretty confident I watched every series of this.
You put him in at number, what was it, sorry? 7. And you're like, I think I've seen it all.
No, but I mean, obviously it was out a while ago. You know, it's been a while since I've seen it. Like, I know I may have missed like maybe the last series or something. But yeah, I just remember absolutely loving this when it came out. Yeah. So I think this is obviously around the time before. This is before all the Marvel series. This is before. I think we had
Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. maybe on the Marvel side.
Yes, we had like bits, didn't we? And I think this might have been during, but this was sort of like when the whole Marvel thing was going off. Maybe it was around the same time, wasn't it?
I mean, I've never seen it, so I can't say anything.
So I think it was around the same time. It wasn't too far off, like the first Iron Man and that sort of stuff coming out. But yeah, I just got completely obsessed with this. I don't even know what it was about it. He is literally just Hawkeye, isn't he? He's just a man who's really good with arrows. Like he's good with combat. There was a lot of like DC characters crossovers and stuff, as with especially with like villains and stuff. I just really liked him. I haven't really got much to add to it, to be honest with you. And obviously we brought in people like the Flash and stuff, which
because did Green Arrow turn up in the Flash, or did Flash turn up in the Green Arrow?
No, Flash chose Green Arrow was first. So I think we had maybe like 2 or 3 series of Green Arrow, and then eventually the Flash turned up.
Right.
Gotcha. And then that's kind of... But it was like, when it was sort of just those 2, it was great. Flash series 1 and 2 was great. Mm-hmm. And then it sort of just went a bit like, I think they ended up the I can't remember what
Legends exactly of Tomorrow, they called it.
Yeah, something like that, and it was bloody awful.
Okay.
But there was a lot of... They brought in people like Black Canary, they brought in like... There was a few different heroes, like sort of on the periphery of the big films that they brought in, that I really enjoyed. But yeah, so my number 7, Green Arrow.
that's such a strange choice, but yeah, fair, I respect it. I kind of think my list from here gets a bit generic, I'll be honest. I think it's a little bit obvious, but I think maybe where I've placed them is different. So my number 7 is Doctor Strange.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, big fan of Doctor Strange, and I think that first film really sold me on this character. Like, it's and I think obviously Benedict Cumberbatch playing this character is great. I couldn't really imagine it anyone else, but I don't know what it is. I love the whole kind of magically, like, dark magic spell stuff behind it. I think it's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And I prefer the second one. I know not a lot of people do, but I think Multiverse of Madness is sick.
Oh yeah.
And I think maybe it's just because it's got a lot of horror influence and it's directed by Sam Raimi. Maybe that's why. But I think it's so cool, and I just love him as a character, and I love what he can do. And obviously, he's a very important part as well. We're going forward, like he's one of the biggest parts. And again, there's not really too much to say, like you just had with your Green Arrow, like. But I just think he's such a strong character, and I think his interactions with the other Avengers has just been great throughout. So Doctor Strange is my number 7.
7.
Yes. Number 8.
6.
Oh, sorry, I said 8.
You counted down, Daniel. 6.
Yeah, number 6. Cool.
My number 6 is a bit generic, I guess, but sod it. It is the big man himself, is Thor.
Oh, nice, nice.
Yeah. I mean, I love Hemsworth. So this is more, as much as I love Thor, I love Hemsworth. He is my man crush. I absolutely love the man. Like, I think he's just cool.
He is cool.
But yeah, and I think Thor's films in general probably has, Thor 1's decent, Thor 2's stinky, Thor Ragnarok is great, and then the last one wasn't good, but yeah, unfortunately there wasn't about Thor anymore. But yeah, I think Thor shines more outside of his own films.
Yeah, he's more a thing for the group dynamic, isn't he?
Yeah, and I think like seeing him interact, and again, he's another person who's had like a really great arc. I think he's kind of he's a bit lost at the moment.
Yeah, they did kind of take him for a bit of a joke for a while, didn't they?
Yeah, like he came in as like this like powerful god, and then he sort of become a bit stupid, and then obviously everything happened with the snap, and he just lost his mind and went like nasty, like angry, like chopping Thanos' head off and stuff, like went mental. And now he's kind of in like a weird spot now, isn't he? Where he's like
a dad.
He's a dad, and like I'm looking forward to where they're going with him. But yeah, I just love.
Also, am I correct in saying right now Thor's the only person with more than 3 films? So he's got 4, going into 5.
Yeah,
he's got the longest franchise.
He does have the longest franchise, and it's weird considering it's so bloody inconsistent.
Yeah, no, exactly. I think it's just the character alone, isn't it? It's enough to sell seats.
Yeah, no, it is. I think he is, and I think he's going to be a vital part of the Avengers and Marvel in general going forward. Because he is like one of the last.
Because he had a cameo in Deadpool and Wolverine. Like, you can't ask for more. Dude.
Yeah, no, so he did. Yeah, which I really hope we actually get a resolution to the end to that. Like, I hope we actually see that scene. But yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing where they go with him. And Thor is number 6.
Fantastic. My number 6 is the man of the moment. It's Deadpool. I think, again, another kind of tiptoe anti-hero, another one I know. I'm full of them. I just love these characters. But at first, I kind of wasn't going to include him because I was like, is he really one of my favorites? But then I'm pretty much basing this off the fact that I have not stopped thinking about that film since I walked out of it. It is probably my contender of film of the year. Like, it was so much fun, and he's such a fun character. And I think kind of the backstory of this character is so interesting, because if I remember correctly, they kind of obviously his name is Wade Wilson. Deathstroke in DC is Slade Wilson, and there's always been that kind of back and forth. I kind of just love the backstory. I love the fact that Ryan Reynolds got the films made specifically, and he's kind of come out now on record and been like, yes, I was kind of the one who leaked that footage in the beginning. I think it's very funny, and I think it's so on brand. But you kind of can't have Deadpool without Ryan Reynolds at this point. And he has now come out and said he doesn't know if he's going to be doing it again, which is like really concerning. And I hope he's just bullshitting.
He's doing it again, yeah. Of course
I hope so. But yeah, I think Deadpool has a very consistent trilogy. I think all 3 of those films are great. And I think as a character alone, I think he's got a lot of heart. He's a very sweet character deep down, but he's just
bizarrely,
and he's just so sick, and I just love it. I think he's great. So my number 6 is Deadpool.
Deadpool. Next up,
number 5.
My number 5 is it's kind of a running joke with me and you now. It's Mr. Shang-Chi. Yes, get in there, Shang-Chi. Like I really need to watch this again. I think I'm probably watching like 2 or 3 times maybe when it came out. I definitely watched it more than once, and I just remember just fall in love instantly with just this whole thing. Whatever's going on with Shang-Chi, I'm in for it. Like, I really enjoyed it. I think as far as like the new characters we've had introduced since Endgame, Shang-Chi is like by far miles ahead of everybody else for me personally. With Miss Marvel probably just like in behind, but I think Shang-Chi, I just love this film. I don't even know what it is about this film that
I find it so crazy that we've not seen him since. Like, that blows my mind. It's such a good character and we haven't seen him since. It blows my mind.
I know, it's kind of frustrating, but again, like, I think we haven't really, if you think of all the films that we've had since, outside of Miss Marvel, probably the only person who's turned up again. Who's had 2 separate things, a series and sort of a film. So we haven't really had interactions with a lot of the new characters. So I'm very, very excited and hopeful that we get a lot more of Shang-Chi going forward, especially with all the sort of like Doomsday stuff and all of the
because obviously there is
stuff we've got coming up.
There is a sequel in the pipeline somewhere. I just don't know when or where or what it's called.
So I'm hoping that we get a lot more Shang-Chi. But I couldn't even tell you what it is about this. And again, I might watch it again now and go,
I hate this man.
I was incorrect. But I just loved this film.
I'm there with you. I think he's great.
I love the aesthetic, and again, he is fantastic. So yes, my number 5 is Shang-Chi.
Yeah, no, I can give you that one. That makes sense. Number 5 for me, I believe, was your number 10. It's Mr. Spider-Man. Was he 10?
Yeah,
he was 10.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, I think Spider-Man, he's just, again, so consistent. I think, although this is another one very much like Batman, where I think all the films have been pretty consistent, Amazing Spider-Man 2 probably being the lowest point. And I'm not the biggest fan of Tom Holland's trilogy. I think it's a little bit up and down. But I love his take on Spider-Man. I love Andrew Garfield specifically. He's probably my favourite. And obviously Tobey Maguire was what we all grew up with, so it's just another great version. And we've got Miles Morales in the mix now, who is great. I think those animated films are sick. So this kind of goes across the board at all of them. It's just a great character. It's a great fun character, a very relatable character if you've had a lot of kind of issues, maybe bullying and stuff like that, if you go through all the films. And I just think he's just one of those characters. Again, it might be nostalgia because this was kind of what we all grew up on, but it's just such a fun character, and I'm always excited to see what they do next with Spider-Man, whether that be the next Spider-Verse or whether that be Tom Holland's number 4. That is sounding very weird behind the scenes. Like, I'm very looking forward to what they do regardless. I just need the Spider-Man Daredevil team up. That's all I want. Give me that team up. Yes, number 5, Spider-Man.
Lovely. Not surprising. Yes. Well, sort of.
Number 4.
So my number 4 is a man that we have very recently spoken about. It's Mr. Pool of Deadpool. So he's my number 4,
Okay.
I mean, I can add a little. I love Deadpool. No, there's not really much more we can say, is there? I think we've sort of like gushed about this guy, this film, this
pretty much
man,
taken over our channel for the last
everything for the last couple of weeks. I mean, what more can you say, isn't it? Like, he is the man at the moment. I think as you mentioned earlier, that he's teasing like not doing this again. I think that's bollocks, to be honest with you.
I hope so,
I think
genuinely.
I think there's no way that he can finally get involved with Marvel, and for there to be this much hype. I mean, people probably care more about seeing Deadpool next than they do about any of the new Marvel stuff.
I genuinely think after this, Ryan Reynolds is going to be heavily involved in the whole MCU going forward. Like, they have given this man so much confidence at this point. Like, he can do whatever he wants, and that's fine.
Yeah. He could be the next like main man as far as Marvel is concerned.
Yeah,
he
like
could be the next leader of the group.
Yeah.
I do not think this is the end of Deadpool. Maybe his last film. Maybe it's his last standalone film. Maybe, he might get involved with other people and come involved with other people's films, and Avengers in general. But I don't think this is the end for Deadpool. He is my number 4.
Fantastic.
Not going to add any more.
Which is absolutely brilliant, because my number 4 is Wolverine. Hey! So that just worked out perfectly. Yeah, again, just to kind of touch on what you said with Wolverine, he's probably been been one of my favorites since I saw that first X-Men film as a kid. That blew my mind. I've always loved his powers, and again, it's just Hugh Jackman. That man, he was born to play this role. Like, genuinely, this. If there's any of those casting choices where you could say that this is it, this is the one. It's funny because obviously you've had so many different versions of Spider-Man and all these characters, and there's only been one. Well, technically now two, but there's only ever been one person to play Wolverine, which has been fantastic.
Yeah, there only ever will be. Yeah.
Yeah, and like I said, I think they kind of said it best in the film where they said they're going to use him till he's 90. I think that's just like almost spot on because they're going to use him now for the rest of his life because he really proved there's still life in this character in this film specifically. So yeah, number 4 for me, the ultimate Wolverine.
Beautiful.
The man. Number 3.
My number 3 is, well, I mean, these next 3 are the best ever. Okay, so my number 3 is a man that I am unbelievably gassed that we finally got to see him. It is the man, the myth, the legend that is Gambit. Yeah. He's finally here. Yeah, I love Gambit, and I think it was always somebody that, obviously, as I said previously, when I used to watch like the old X-Men series when it first came out, I remember just being like, this guy's the coolest guy ever, and I was always just enamored by him. And I think going back and watching it, the X-Men series, it was like, yeah, this he's the guy. Then we have 97, he gets his moment to shine, and then we have Deadpool Wolverine, where we finally get Channing Tatum's version of Gambit, and it just feels like Gambit is going places.
He's made for the big screen so clearly. Like, the fact that they haven't done anything with him is wild.
It really feels like this is Gambit year, which is just mental. Like, going into this year, this was the last thing I expected, that it would be Gambit year. Like, so just an X-Man. That's all he's really ever been, is an X-Man. But he was a massive part of X-Men 97. He's been a massive part of Deadpool Wolverine. He's going to be a massive part, especially of Channing Tatum going forward. So yeah, I am absolutely gassed, and this one could be going up and up and up for me soon. But yeah, like, Gambit is just the coolest man ever, and I am over the moon that people finally get to see this guy and be like, oh,
this is it.
This guy.
It makes me laugh because after Deadpool and Wolverine, I know you don't spend so much time scrolling on your phone as I do, but when you look at Instagram Reels or TikTok, literally the only thing from that film that is getting clipped is him talking because people loved him so much. Like, it's so funny. Like, clearly,
but it's become like the new "My name is Jeff." It's become that.
What was it? 10 years ago we had that, and now we've got him doing this accent. It's so funny. But what a great character. So my number 3 is probably the one, like, curveball of this list, but I love this character and I've loved him for years. It's Hellboy. Ooh. Massive fan of Hellboy. I think he's just so much fun. He's such a dark character, and I'm kind of basing this strictly on Ron Perlman's take, the Guillermo del Toro films, the two films.
The only one.
Now those are some of my favorite films ever. Like, I used to watch them on repeat as a kid. They're fucking fantastic. And his take on that character is so unbelievably dark but funny. It's crazy, and obviously the practical effects are insane.
I know they are great.
When are they ever going to give this a third film? It makes me so sad. Like, I would give anything to get that third film. But
ancient Ron Perlman, now blessed.
Literally, but he's so good in this, and the character is great. I love the fact that he's just like a really soft kid deep down who loves cats and candy bars. Like, kills me off. I'm all right with the remake. I don't hate it like everyone else did.
I haven't seen it.
Have you not? Okay. David Harbour as Hellboy is fine. It's fine. Okay. I just didn't need Hellboy saying fuck every 2 seconds. That's my issue. Like, I didn't need it. But he looks the part. He's big. He's funny. He looks the part. This new one that's coming out, The Crooked Man, I think it's called. Shit, that looks terrible. Have you seen the trailer? It looks like a YouTube film. It looks horrendous. Oh, no. But I'll give it a chance because I do love the character. So number 3 is Hellboy for me.
Interesting choice. Didn't expect that one.
Yeah, cool. Number 2.
My number 2 might be, well, it might be a surprise for you. I think it will be a surprise for you. My number 2 is the Batman.
Oh, that is a surprise.
Yeah. I love Batman.
Okay.
And no. Let me preface it. I do love Batman. I love Christian Bale's Batman. And I know it's like the usual, of course you love Christian Bale's one, but he's just the best.
No, he is good.
He is the best. I think we're a bit, and I think I love from there backwards more than the recent versions of them. As I said, I think the Batman is. I think what's his name's portrayal is horrific. I think he is the worst Batman I've ever seen. It's atrocious. To see Batman become a stroppy little teenager makes me really, really, really sad. But the reason he is number 2 is because, he's just great. I've always loved Batman. I think he was something that we all, well, people of a certain age grew up with, and he's always been there, similar to people like Spider-Man, Wolverine. But like he's always
with you saying a specific age, I think that's kind of what makes Batman work, though, is every age group has had a Batman, which is so good. Even if it's Lego Batman, I think they've always had a Batman, which is great.
I think we've had too much Batman, in my opinion. I think there are way too many, and we've spoken before about the DC thing, blah blah blah. I don't really not gonna get into that now, but I want to see. I'm hoping now going forward that we get like the DC Batman is like the Batman for an extended period of time now, and it's more of like a structured
more
thing.
Like an Iron Man casting.
I think once the next Batman just needs to be a Batman, and I understand that we're still going to be having Patterson's Batman, and we're still going to be doing this weird like side-by-side thing, but I think if we can just choose one or the other and just go, right, I'll follow this one, if you want to do the Patterson one, I'll do that one. But we need a Batman, a more consistent thing with this going forward. But I think Dark Knight trilogy is up there, is probably the best. It's very hard to find 3 films in any sort of in superheroes, especially any 3 films that are better. My number 2 is the Batman. I
think, just adding on to Batman before I move on to my number 2, what we need now is the Batman with the white eyes. Give us that, and I'll be very happy. They've just done it with Wolverine, and he looked fucking sick. So give us a hard Batman and give him the white eyes, and I'm there locked in from day one. My number 2 actually might be a surprise for you, because I think you might think this is number 1, but I'm not sure. Number 2 is, on your left, Captain America.
Ooh,
big man Cap.
I
love Captain America. I think he's got the strongest MCU films as solo films, and I think whenever he's with the Avengers, he's the leader, isn't he? He's the best. I think it's obviously you kind of get the button heads between him and Iron Man, but I'm team Captain America all the way. I love him so much, and I think just his enthusiasm for kind of leading this team has always just been so good to watch. He's such a nice character. That's the thing. He's such a nice guy, but he's just so perfect at leading this team. And I love his like costume changes he's had through the films. I think the Endgame suit is fire. I'm not so on the train of Sam Wilson being Captain America. I'll give it that. I think that's kind of why it came down a little bit. I'm not. I love Sam Wilson as a character. I think he's cool too, but I don't need him to be Captain America. Personally, I would have preferred Bucky get the shield at the end. That would have been great.
Everyone would have.
Yes, but I will watch Brave New World, and I hopefully will enjoy it. But I'm just not looking forward to not having Chris Evans be Captain America, because it still feels quite soon, which is really weird. But I just hope it's good, and I hope there's enough in there to kind of respect his memory while moving on. That's all I want.
Yeah. No, that's fair.
So number
2, like we didn't really need a new Captain America, but it's fair.
No, I think they should have just kept it to Falcon and then kind of had him take over, not as Captain America. But yes, number 2 for me, Big Cap. So let's move to our big number 1. I think these are fairly obvious, but let's go into 1.
So, I see your Captain America, Dan, and I raise you Big Iron Man! It's Iron Man's number 1. I mean, he is, like, from that first film, I was in love. Like, I wasn't really. I seen a little bit of Robert Downey Jr. sort of like growing up, like bits and bobs, and obviously, like I didn't really know what was going on. So I've learned a lot more now. So I really had no idea really who this man was. And then I just watched this film and just remember thinking, holy shit, like this is incredible.
I think the scene where he comes out of that cave with Black Sabbath playing is probably the most badass scene in the MCU.
Yeah, obviously the music really helps. But no, it was just like I just couldn't believe what was going on. And then obviously it just kind of grown more and more and more since then. And as you sort of said, The arc, I think, is like probably one of the, or if not the greatest in superhero films ever, considering it was like over a 20-year. I mean, the phase, not 1 to 4, whatever it be, that first phase basically of Marvel cinema is Iron Man.
Oh yeah, I agree.
From the first film to the last film, you know, for him to start it, for him to end it, it's just perfect, isn't it? And obviously, being there at Endgame, yes, I was crying like a little baby, along with everybody else, like devastated at like the fact that it had to be him, but also almost like a little, sounds real cringe now, but almost a little like proud.
Well, it was the noblest sacrifice you could have ever imagined.
It was, yeah, and I think it was one of those things where you just gone, you did it, man. You went from this guy who's just an arrogant arsehole, just full of money and like cool still, but just like, I am Iron Man, I'm the guy, to come to the end where you're just like a father, and you're like, unless I do this, the world's going to end. I'm going to sacrifice myself and leave my daughter behind. For for the greater good, you know, to save the world. Like, so he literally saved the world. So yes, I mean, what more can you say?
I think again, when it goes into the whole Endgame thing, I think his whole end arc is the best. But I'll never get over the first Avengers film. Like, never ever. That film for me was cinematic perfection, to see him alongside all these characters, but he's still like such a prevalent part. Incredible.
Yeah, I mean, he was like the sort of second in charge, but it was almost like they were two, really, wasn't it? It was always him and Captain America, and I loved their relationship in general. You know, the fact that they were all, it was like brotherly, wasn't it? It was very much like, we hate each other, but we really love each other, we respect each other, but it was like the sort of battle was always great between them. I was always Mr. Iron Man himself. So yeah, my number one is, and it always will be, it'll never change. And even when he becomes back as Doctor Doom, I don't care, because he's still Iron Man. So yeah, my number one is Iron Man.
Iron Giant, nice.
Okay. It is, yeah.
For me, BFG. My number one of right now, I don't know if this will stay for the rest of my life, but right now this is my GOAT. It's the Devil of Hell's Kitchen. It's Daredevil.
Of course.
It's Daredevil.
Of course it is.
I love this character so fucking much. And like, this is basically Charlie Cox's version. I like Ben Affleck's version, don't get me wrong. I think it's fun. But Charlie Cox's Daredevil, from the Netflix show to whatever he's doing now, this guy, this is it. This is it.
This is it.
I love him so much. His performance is unreal. I honestly had to Google the first time I watched it, is this man blind? Because he is such a convincing actor. But his arc through that 3-season show, which is by far my favourite thing Marvel have done outside of the MCU, I think is the most perfect arc ever. And I think the way they end that show is good, considering it got cancelled, but I'm very looking forward to seeing what they do in the next show. But I am very, very skeptical about that next show, just because I'm not massive on the whole MCU TV show stuff. But I'm ready to give it a shot, because obviously No Way Home, Tobey Maguire, Andrew Garfield, those were big moments. But for me, when I saw that stick, I lost it. He is just such a good character, and I'm so looking forward to seeing what they do in the MCU. And I said, just give us that Spider-Man Daredevil team up. Just give us that, because Spider-Man 4, a lot of people want it to be that street level film where it's got kind of some of the Defenders in, which I'm there for. But I think Sony are pushing for Andrew Garfield and Tobey to come back and they do another multiversal story, which I don't want. Give me that street level film with Daredevil and Spider-Man, and I'm locked in.
Yeah, I don't think Sony will get them back, to be honest with you. I don't know what the rights are like, but I think
Sony basically holds most of the rights. So basically, if Sony go, we want to do this, Kevin Feige kind of has to listen to him. Which sucks. Money, but I know. We'll all be so excited if that happens again. We will.
Yeah,
but if I saw my man Daredevil full suit in that screen, whoa, I'm going nuts. So for that alone, Daredevil is my man. He comes in at number 1. So those are our lists. The list will be on screen right now. So you tell us if you disagree or if you agree. Yep, there you go. It'll be under you. That's it. Perfect. So you tell us how you agree, disagree. Who's your top 10? How does it differ? Are we stupid? You tell us.
Probably, yeah. No, we are stupid.
Mr. Green Arrow over here, tell him, like.
Yeah, the Green Arrow, baby. Tell me what your favourite Green Arrow character. Go on.
But yeah, obviously, if you like this idea, give us your top 10. Let us know your top 10. Let us know your honourable mentions. Let us know how you felt about that. I think those lists are pretty good. I think they're pretty fun.
Yes, lovely. So yeah,
Yes.
like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. Try and get us to that 100 by the end of the month, and we will. Well, I'm saying we'll treat you. It's not really a treat, is it? Seeing two fully grown men try to dance, but yeah, we will treat you to that video at the end of the month of me and.
We're at
Daniel
60, which is
dancing.
8 more than we were last time. So if you keep pushing it, you're gonna see these moves.
I don't know if you want to, but yeah, thank you everyone for watching. We'll catch you again next time.
The socials are on
See
the
you
outro.
flip-flop.
Follow us wherever you fancy. Thank you very much.